Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Yeah, I'm okay. I've been sick for quite a few weeks now.
Weeks?
Yeah, and it's got sort of secondary infection of pneumonia. So I'm just on the sort of hopefully tail end of that.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it hasn't been great.
So sorry.
Thank you. It's like if I'm not going to change the pace up voluntarily, then my body will make it clear that something needs to change. So that's my read on it. But there's a lot of infections going around anyway.
Well, was the pace changed up?
Well, time will tell, really. I have had to slow down and stop because I've had to have days off work. But yeah, it's an ongoing project, let's say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how well I'll be able to do this. I might need to stop and cough and so on. So we'll see how we go.
Okay, whatever feels right for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it sort of feels experimental for me anyway, this call, because it's, it has been a long time and I could have cancelled again. And, I've got lots of competing parts around doing it. And so I don't even know if I can do parts work now. Okay. I don't know.
That's fine.
I'm just open to sort of just seeing what happens a little bit.
I love open and experimental. They're all experimental to me.
Yeah.
Yep, we can do anything we want.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I have a story around, well, lots of things, but one of the stories goes, you're not doing it. You're not doing IFS the way that you should be doing it. You're not doing it the way that James and many of the callers are doing it. And therefore you're not, and it just goes back to the same themes. You're not worthy. You're not good enough. You don't belong.
Yes.
So, because I'm not immersed in the world, I don't deserve to have your time and call and listeners' time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it's true. I don't. spend a lot of time doing parts work these days.
Uh-huh.
I can recognize parts. I can definitely identify parts, but I'm not diving any deeper than that.
Yeah. Is the recognizing...
But there's a sort of rebellious part that's going, oh, well, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
A world in there, isn't it?
I didn't catch it. The rebellious part is saying what?
Fuck it, like, so what?
Yeah.
So, and yes, that's another part, but it's sort of helpful and useful and interesting for me to explore letting her be there as well.
Sure.
Because I'm so keen on the good girl is so, ever present and trying to do. It's like,
yeah,
having to do so much just to be valid, having to perform so much so that I'll be heard, so that I will be acceptable, on my own. Just showing up is not enough. I have to perform. And as I'm saying that, I'm thinking of my stepfather. It's just like, it's exhausting.
Yeah, and the fuck it part gives you a break from that.
Yeah, it's new in as much as having her out, kind of in the world. Yeah, so
you are definitely very skilled at recognizing parts. I wonder if that does just recognizing them provide some comfort to them or some relief.
I mean, I think so. I don't, like I said, I'm not having conversations. You're asking the question now. I could ask the question. I think, so there's another piece, which is I can't do the work. So there's an immediate block. You ask that question and I go, I can't do it. I don't have what it takes. I'm not good enough. It's the same. Yeah. I don't have the skills. I don't have the prowess. I don't fit the model. I don't fit the bill.
Okay.
It's like, and I think it's because when I turn towards, there's an immediate sort of trying that comes in, which might be good girl or, it could be any number of parts. And they're like, okay, what do we have to do now to answer this question? How do we get this? How do we get it right? How do I get this? How do I get the answer right?
Yep.
Making sense?
Yeah. Everything you're saying makes sense to me. Absolutely.
So that's what
I think we've encountered those together, and yeah,
100%, yeah. And so I just go, all right, I can't do it. I just put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get beyond. I mean, obviously I have, and we have over time, but there's definitely reached a point of sort of like, yeah, I'm not capable. I don't have what it takes to fit into this crowd, to belong to this group. I'm on the outside again. Yeah, I'm on where I belong is not within the circle. Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's it. It's just all the themes of childhood. All of those parts still there. Of course.
Okay. Well, I have all my own parts coming up, hearing all that.
Please
sadness, and, I guess I have parts of me that want to tell you how much kind of in my circle I see you and feel you and think of you. And when I hear you saying these parts saying, we're not like that. We don't fit in there. That just, I guess those parts of me just get really bummed out about that, because we see you as, very welcome and belonging and contributing, and I've seen so much incredible work from you. So I'm just speaking for those parts. I know I'm not empathizing much with the ones that are saying, nah, but
yeah. And you know what it's like anyone, when you say, I can't do this, and someone says, yes, you can, doesn't it doesn't really hit, because, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate you speaking for your parts.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's another piece, I think, which is around parts clashing that I found maybe in the last call. Yeah, I think, or the last couple, there's moments of when I've said something that I feel is kind of precious, and I feel, and I might be wrong, a part of you responding to that has then clashed with the original part in me, or sparked some other part, and just finding that excruciating, just like kind of adding another layer to you've got it wrong, you don't belong, and you're not seen, or you're not, and in that moment not being able to be unblended from those parts that were activated. And so and that's really, I'm just sort of giving information, just
I'm really
for no reason,
thankful. It's so useful, and it's okay. It's honest, and it's speaking for parts. It's everything I could ask for. But thank you.
Okay. I mean, I'm saying it not necessarily for you, but just to explain, and not that you're asking for this, but just for me to explain why. Yeah, I've pulled away.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good just to say all this stuff, actually.
Great. Yeah.
Because I really do recognize. Yeah, I recognize that there's definitely, I've mentioned this in messages a couple of times, this good girl that turns up and says, okay, how do I do this right? How do I be the caller? What's the caller part? What does the caller do to get it right? And, obviously there have been times when I've not been in that good girl part, but I'm just really speaking for her and how much she is present in a way that I haven't been aware of, in those moments. Often. Yeah. And there's a part coming through which is like relief, that, because there's emotion in there as well, like, because if I speak my truth, the anticipation is that I'll be exiled, that I'll be pushed out because it's not welcome and it doesn't belong.
I want to welcome.
It's not okay. Yeah, it's not okay to.
It feels really connecting to me, and I apologize for any times that parts of mine haven't welcomed it.
No, I'm not talking. Oh, I'm talking about my childhood, not you. Yeah. Yeah, it's just that thing of like, you can't speak up for yourself and say what's true, because you risk being exiled, you risk being pushed out even further. Yeah, emotion isn't welcome, truth isn't welcome, any difficulty isn't welcome. Yeah, so I'm sort of really experiencing a lovely relief part that is going, oh, it's like peeking out from behind the curtain going, oh, I didn't get killed. I don't mean risk of actual being killed, but like I didn't get punished, removed.
Yeah.
It's okay. She's so young. Yeah. So there's a whole load of stuff.
Good stuff. Good parts.
Can you just tell me quickly when you're going and what your plans are?
Oh,
Just
when I'm going to Vietnam?
Yeah.
I am going to Vietnam in 10 days.
Wow.
My ticket is for 3 months, but it's flexible, so maybe it'll be more than 3 months.
Okay.
I have a home rented in Dalat, which is in the mountains in the middle.
I know.
And it's like the only place that gets cold.
Yeah.
And I have all kinds of parts up about it. but it still feels right. And I have every intention to continue doing the podcast. And although I will take probably like 2 weeks off or so, I have an interim hostess, who will be taking calls at that time.
What do you mean?
Justine.
She's going to run the podcast.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I think it's amazing. I think she's done some really great work.
And I've enjoyed hearing her calls with you.
Yeah, and she's really looking forward to it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really amazing, James, that you're offering that to her.
Yeah, everybody's happy about it, it sounds like.
Yeah, lovely. Great. And are you working over there?
Actually, I am. I already have an investment property over there.
Nice.
But it's just an experiment.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a for me, please.
Oh yeah.
If you like that kind of thing. I've been missing them. Okay. Let's have a sit. Are you there?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. Any more ideas about where we might go in this conversation?
No, I just have a panic part in response to that question. I've been at a conference for a couple of days with work, and I just recognize how, if I'm put on the spot, like if I'm asked to think about things, come up with answers, I just freeze. So that happened then.
Okay.
I don't know, James.
It's all right.
What are your thoughts?
I also don't know. I mean, I'm feeling really open and happy that you're here and we're here together. And I don't have any agenda. I'm welcoming of all the parts. I'm thrilled that you can see them and speak for them so clearly. We don't have to do anything. And I also want to offer that. I mean, you're sick, and if taking a nap during this time that you have blocked off on the calendar is best for you, then please do that.
No, I'm good. It's morning here. I had a good sleep and did a Shakti mat, and so I'm feeling rested. And yes, I suppose there's a curiosity about doing some parts work, but I guess I need to have no, expectation or agenda about any outcome.
Yeah. Well, the expectation of maybe getting to know them. It's kind of all I'm aiming for.
Yeah. Yeah. So then there's a sort of overwhelm at who, which part, what direction to go in.
Mm-hmm. Lots of different ways. We could have a minute or two of meditation. We could roll the dice. We could pick the loudest one, or the surface level one, or the one that gets the least attention.
Yeah, I think maybe let's do 2 minutes of meditation and just
Great.
See what percolates.
Okay. I will set a timer now. All right.
So I kind of started by asking, who's here? And things jumbled around, and then I found a trailhead. And then I noticed the trying to get it right part.
Mm-hmm.
The part that's kind of always assessing, trying to work things out. I guess assessing for a sense of belonging, safety, so on.
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to do to, gain acceptance?
Yes.
Love, understanding, and so on.
Yes.
So that, we could go there.
Yes.
Or the trailhead, which feels more remote. Yeah. I suppose the curiosity is strongest for the trying to get it right.
Great. I'm also feeling curious.
And it's most noticeable because it's it's a very physical sensation.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be called thinking because it's this tightening around my brain, the front and sides, my temples, and it's like the sort of scrunching up of thinking, of the eyes and the so that's where it's located.
Okay. Yeah, let it know that we're curious. And you've already said, some things about it, like it's trying to work it out in order to gain acceptance, love, understanding. You could just check that out with it. Like, is that what's up for it? And is there more that it wants us to know about that or about something else?
So it's having a little spin in response to that question. It goes into panic, or there's another part maybe that goes into panic.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, I'm never going to get this right. I don't know what you mean.
Okay. It was kind of a convoluted question.
I'm never going to be able to get the answers. What do you mean?
Yeah.
This or anything else?
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So that's there.
Okay.
That's the first response. It's like a panic.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
Okay.
Ah, sweet one.
Yes.
I'm just going to see where that one is.
Great.
It's different. That's more like a breathlessness that's up at the top of my chest and in my throat. It's like I'm out of my depth. I'm a child in a university lecture hall. I can't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to be able to.
Can you get its attention?
Understand the question.
Can you get it aware of you?
I think so. I think it's 11. But, it's a bit of a emotional flooding. Not overwhelming.
Great. Yeah. You can just let it know that you're picking up on those emotions, that they matter.
Just always feels out of its depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does it feel like you understand it?
Just goes into freeze. Just goes into freeze with the question.
Yeah.
Doesn't know how to answer any questions.
Yeah. That's okay with me. I mean, I don't have any judgment about how it answers the questions or doesn't answer them.
Okay, that's relieving.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious if it if it feels that you feel it.
It's starting to.
Yeah.
It didn't know anyone else was here.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Feeling a lot of mixed feelings, compassion, but also sadness.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was feeling alone.
Yeah, totally alone and ill-equipped to be running the show, but felt like it was put in that position. What sort of memories? coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's it want you to know about those memories?
I think I got very tall very quickly, and it was uncomfortable.
You got very tall.
Yeah, just being
Out of your depth.
physically big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and but feeling not comfortable with being seen. What I'm remembering is my brother. I had an Australian stepbrother. He came over when he was 18 to England, and he was doing film. He was at university doing film, and he made a film, and I was in it. I was sort of, one of the main characters, and it was uncomfortable being the focus of attention in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And also it was the summer, and everyone was out playing, and I had to be in doing the filming, and yeah, I don't know, just feeling really awkward and gangly, and because I'd suddenly got all this body that I didn't know how to use.
Awkward, gangly, and on the spot, and being recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So liking the spotlight parts, but also feeling really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like I couldn't act, didn't know how to act.
Yeah. Right. What do I need to do to get this right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That all makes sense.
And I think also just wanting that sort of transition from child into what's next, wanting to just be free to play, but also there was a very intense seriousness within me early on, that didn't know how to play. And so that's a confusion around that, and not knowing how to move into this next phase of life.
Yeah. How's the part like being able to share all this with you? Does it?
Yeah. It's appreciating it, and also that it can feel me understanding.
Great.
Deeply understanding, because I know it, those experiences.
Yeah, does it have any more it wants to show you? Other memories?
Yeah, there's some confusion around, not really confusion, that's not the right word. Oh yeah, there is confusion. It's around my relationship with my stepfather, who I grew up with. Feeling it was very conditional, the relationship, and so and I and really recognizing that I had to behave in a very particular way for approval. Otherwise, I felt like I wasn't liked. It wasn't just it was like I really was not liked by this person.
Yeah.
And that went on into way into adulthood. Just when I had moved away from home, and then I'd go back, and there'd be this sort of early, few hours of interest and approval, and then very quickly just feeling like I wasn't liked by him.
Yeah. Did the part also feel alone in that? Like that wasn't something that she could talk to her mom about or talk to someone about?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no one to talk to about that, for sure.
Yeah.
And that was horrible, you know. And I am only just kind of seeing or articulating that. It's just been a sort of felt experience.
Yeah.
I have so many feelings coming up around that, you know, from sadness and concern and compassion to rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it all still feeling welcome, or is it feeling overwhelming? Okay.
No, it's not overwhelming. It's just recognizing the stories that we come in with, and all the things we have to manage. All these little young parts have to go through these things. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot to handle.
Yeah. I'm actually just going to mute you for a sec because I need to blow my nose.
Great.
Bear with me. Okay, I'm back.
Okay. So back with this part.
Yeah.
Letting it know that its feelings are welcome, that you can make space for that. And that you really want to understand it.
Yeah, she really had nowhere to go. No understanding, no support, no recognition. No soft place to land.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. Yeah, I'm really with her with that.
Yeah.
And so there is someone. Because I'm here.
That's
and I
right.
do understand. And she just, it's this tallness, this kind of long limbs.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it much harder to curl onto somebody's lap, and have a soft cocoon to land in. Have somebody hold her.
Yeah. Yeah, you can let her know that you see how hard that was for her. But you can also, offer her to change shape, to change how she shows up. If it feels better for her
No, I think the most useful thing is for me to just hold her as she is, because she's not too long or too big or too limmy or too gangly.
Great. Yeah, great.
My arms are big enough to hold her.
This is right. All right.
So I'm just holding her. She's kind of curled up in my lap.
Yeah.
And this relief in being able to have that and, rest back into that.
Yes.
Holding.
Mm-hmm.
Can feel her muscles sort of give way. The holding of trying to be a certain way and get it right, letting go.
Yep.
It's like letting her be a small child again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she was really concerned about how to make that transition, that passage into being more of an adult.
Yeah, I think there's an expectation, as a child's physical body grows, they then look more like an adult. And so the expectation from others is that they are then going to be more like an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a watcher now who's going, okay, what should you be doing now? What are you supposed to be doing with this part? And
Nice noticing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Watcher. I have my own Watcher parts. Asking me the same thing. What are you supposed to be doing, James?
Yeah. Yeah. Nice catch. I so often I find when I get to this point with a part, there's like a lifetime of unraveling that needs to happen.
Yeah.
In being held in the way that they needed to be held.
Yes.
So no one wants to rush that.
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better. So totally agree.
She's just got here. She doesn't want to have to do anything. I'm so grateful, to have the space to be not her, to be in self so that I can hold her.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's some curiosity that comes in around this other part that was up in the head.
Yeah, you were thinking that was a different part, trying to get it right, work it out to gain acceptance, love, and understanding.
I mean, there's definitely obviously a connection, but it feels like an adaptive response. To be kind of cognitive about everything, all aspects of life, you know.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like a protector in exile and exile to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me see how that fits. Yeah. So the this thinking, getting it right part is operating. It's like operating a ship.
Mm-hmm.
It's got all these buttons and levers and and it doesn't sleep. It's on high alert. It has to be on watch all the time, because at any moment something could come in that challenges it.
Yes.
Or this other part, and it has to try and like start turning the cogs to find out how to churn out the right answer on a bit of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many cogs and wheels and buttons, and it doesn't know which ones to press, so it's just randomly it sort of tried to put them over years into different sections, sort of
right
but it
right, cognitive smart part, sort them this way, do them in this order. Just anything it can do to organize its work.
Yeah.
Because the pain of an exile, the pain of not feeling accepted, loved, understood.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah, and there's another piece to it, which is around being clever.
Mm-hmm.
Like coming across as being smart.
Mm-hmm.
Really wants to be thought to be smart and clever and fit in.
Yeah.
You know, I left school early. I never went to university. I've done heaps of studies since then, but you know, there's this. It sort of feels like inadequate always because of that, and it didn't
because of leaving
tick those
school
boxes. Early? Yeah, leaving school early and not going to university, and those people that did that are better.
They were doing it right. They were following the program.
Yeah. They were able to organize their buttons and wheels in the right way.
Right. Yeah.
It's lovely work.
Mm-hmm. Does the trying to get it right part acknowledge at all your holding of this 11-year-old part? Does it appreciate that?
Yeah, it's aware that there's someone else in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it knows what you just asked.
Okay.
It feels like it's sort of got so engrossed in its work that it forgot why it was doing it. there was an exile, if there is a link here.
Yeah.
It just it's been headlong, doing, into the wind.
That's the tragedy of protectors.
Mm. But exile's sort of calling out to it from the safety of my arms. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
things might be different than you think.
Yeah. There's another way.
Mm.
And I think that's a really great intuition of, let's get her attention, the busy trying one.
I'm just, letting it know here that we're here with it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a bit of a meta explosion going on, because it's like its role is always to try and do this work right, and I'm in here. I'm in it with it. I'm in.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's confused.
An Inception kind of Hall of Mirrors thing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's spinning it out a little bit, but not in a bad way. More in a like, the pieces that I've been holding together can't don't fit, and and so I can't hold them anymore. And now what?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe kind of inviting it to, if it relaxes its grip or its focus by just 1% or 2%, and sees how things don't fall apart. If it can kind of
that's sort of happening.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this sense of kind of urgently crouched over its desk, over its massive situation, gripping and wanting more arms, more hands to be able to, originally, and then it's just turned around instead now. It's just sort of it's just a bit quieter.
Yeah. Yep. Just wanted to have a good look at you and your powers of presence and grace and understanding.
It's just saying, I just wanted to get it right. Just wanted to get it all right. Kind of drooping in shoulders and head.
Yeah.
It's decades of exhaustion.
Yeah, you can just thank it. Let it know that you see how hard that's been. and that it's not alone.
What did you say, James?
And that it's not alone.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something, I'm not sure, like I had a clear visual image in my mind of it standing in front of me, and then that changed. And there's more of that kind of spacey spaciousness feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And so that feels more blank.
Okay.
As in nothing visual.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's a part trying to pull me away from connecting with this part, or, you know, because I've been here before with calls with you. It feels really nice. Excuse me, my nose is hot, but
all right.
It feels like place you're trying to get meditation.
Yeah,
you know,
it feels like self-energy.
Yeah, it feels like self-energy.
And parts being held and understood.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just not sure if that is what it is. You know, if what I'm saying is, if the image of me being able to clearly see this part disappears, am I still with the part?
Yeah, maybe not. But I mean, what has happened so far, I'm feeling really confident about. That wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, me too. It was just there was a click, the moment of something else. So I just letting you know what's happening.
Great. Yep. Yep.
I'm curious, you know.
I was just gonna say, curiosity would be the way in. I think just what's going on. Where'd people go?
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Who needs what?
And then the trying comes in again. Yeah, so it's like, see, I still need to be here at the desk. I still need to be operating the show.
What happens if it doesn't?
It has to do with, you know, without it, nothing works. There's no life. There's no functioning.
Okay.
You know, there's no internal motivation. There's no.
Okay.
You know, we can't just be swanning around in our intuition and spacing out, and you know, like it's connected to intuition as well. Like this, I have to be running the show because
this needs to be organized.
Things need to be organized and focused and moving forward.
Okay.
We can't sit back in this, whatever this is.
Okay. That all makes sense to me, that this part cares about that.
But then I, come back to the beginning of the conversation when I was talking about pace and how I'm always, it's always making me run ahead of the natural pace of my within, that was this driving sort of striving.
I have a suggestion that something you might try, and if it doesn't feel right, don't try it.
Please.
What happens if, from where you are now, you turn back to the 11-year-old and get back to the holding of that part? And instead of what might be more of a confrontation, or more of a, oh, here's this protector part again, and it's it's kind of, if this is a protector in exile, it's reminding it that your work through the exile, with the exile, shows how powerful you are in an unorganized and an intuitive way.
Right. Yeah. Shows the power and value of presence and intuition.
Right.
Yeah, I really feel that. And also the exile part is really relieved.
Right.
Because I went away from it.
Right. Right.
And it's interesting your use of the word confrontation, because it did feel a bit like that.
Yeah, because this part's saying, we got to do this, and you and I both have parts that say, we don't stop saying that.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think this is kind of that deeper and direct method of, I already know what exile you're connected to, and what happens if I just go straight there? How does that affect this protective part?
Feels a bit abandoned.
Yeah. Yep.
It was starting to be seen.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So yeah, don't want to abandon it. Just wanted to kind of ground the self and and kind of demonstrate that again, this connection.
There's room for everyone.
I didn't understand what you said.
There's room for everyone.
That's right.
There's room for them both.
That's right.
But I think, maybe another part had come in a little bit to try to persuade it. Got up off his seat, put the little one down, and I don't know, listen back and see what happened. So what's coming is that I'm saying that I'm in the engine room, with this exile with me on my lap, and I'm not trying to pull its hands off the controls. It's like a negotiation. It doesn't want me to just come in and do that. I can be in here with it, with this one on my lap and this one who's worked so hard, and just let it know that I'm here. It doesn't have to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a part trying to stop it, wrangle it.
Yeah.
Just trying to persuade it, prove that it was that its job was invalid and
right.
not necessary anymore. And yeah, that wasn't helpful.
Right.
And there's a sort of urgency part. It's like, got to do all the work in this call and get it done, and tick the boxes and hit the marks, and which meant trying to stop it doing its job.
Right. Yep, we can thank that one.
Yeah. So we can just be in here, and it could still be on the helm, and we can just ride the sea together.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like when this little one got on my lap,
Yes.
my intuition was that it, you know, needed just lifetime's worth of holding in a way.
Right. Right.
And in the same way, this other one needs me to hold it.
Not just
That
yank it
doesn't
out of
mean,
its
yeah,
space.
not
Right.
the holding in a different way, holding it as it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you can't force a hug on anyone.
Right. Right.
Holding can mean different things and look different to different
Right.
parts.
Yeah, you're meeting this part where it is. But I definitely think that idea of being with them together and yes, continuing to kind of reinforce or acknowledge that they are connected is a great way of catching up the protective part, the busy one, you know, with
Well, it's self in action as well. So it's seeing,
right.
You know, it can continue to do what it does and be held at the same time.
Yeah.
Not just be doing it on its own.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's also why with protectors, a lot of times my line of questioning is kind of, you know, what do you need from me? How can I help? And I am kind of thinking about like, you have this job and I want to honor that job. And how can I make this easier for you? Whereas with the exiles, it's often a more kind of emotional.
Yeah, I was kind of telling it, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that anymore, which is maybe true, but it isn't helpful to this part.
Yep. Yep.
You know, it has amazing skills, actually.
I do know.
And they're useful, and it wants that to be seen. And that those things can be used,
celebrated, held on to.
Yeah.
Used
and
when we
used
need
in
them.
Positive, beautiful other ways, you know.
Absolutely.
It isn't impotent, and, you know, it's not like it's now unemployed and can't use any of its skills.
Right. Well, and that's another, you know, just question I'm always asking protectors is like, what would you rather be doing, you know, with your energy if you didn't have to work to protect this other part here, and just opening that up to them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's skills plus trust is a different dynamic to its skills plus, you know, always being on the back foot and feeling out of its depth. I feel like that's a good place to stop, James.
Okay. All right. Well, we can do that. If we weren't going to stop here, I would have one more suggestion. Okay.
Go ahead.
at the top of this call and in a lot of calls, we're talking about the parts that tell you that you can't do this, and maybe not to try. And I don't know how much of that might be this one who's trying to get it right, or if those are other more cynical kind of parts. But yeah, they might also be worth updating, having them kind of tune in and
yeah, I get it.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
My only other suggestion. And my thanks and gratitude for letting me join you today, and invitation to do it a whole bunch more if you want.
Thank you so much.
You can get back to me on that if you want. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My gratitude to you.
Yeah.
Go well over the next few days as you plan to head off.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're miraculously not sick tomorrow, let us know.
Okay. Yeah. That would be pretty impressive. Thanks, James.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.